This next video is all about preventing failures caused by improper hollowing. I need to mention that this video right here is really about the why when it comes to 3D hollowing. If you want videos that specifically goes over how to use the different tools within Lychee, I've created 3 other videos, each one kind of going over a different aspect of the tools in Lychee Slicer. You can find those videos here, and feel free to check those out after this one. In my conversations with my fellow 3D printers, I'm often surprised how many people tell me they don't hollow pretty much anything because they don't really see the benefit. So first I want to go over what the benefits are. So if you're in that camp, hopefully, I list some benefits you haven't considered yet. The first one is resin savings. And since resin is one of the most expensive aspects of resin 3D printing, the more resin you save, the more money you save. The next one is that your prints won't actually weigh as much when they're fully assembled on your shelf. This can be very beneficial because, like an arm that's heavy or holding something heavy or a cape that's really heavy that could have been hollowed can actually over time put extra strain on your model and actually cause it to break. You might think that having a solid model is going to be stronger, but it's the opposite is actually true. Having a hollow model that doesn't weigh as much and can kind of break under its own weight is going to extend the life of that print. The second main feature is reducing cross sections. Now, reducing cross sections is really great because that is going to reduce your failure rate by quite a bit. Cross sections are ultimately the #1 enemy in resin 3D printing. It's also actually going to prolong the life of your machine. Larger cross section is a lot harder for your printer to peel it off the release film, and that puts a lot more pressure on all the moving parts of the printer as well as the release film itself. So your printer will actually last longer if you hollow your prints. It's not fair to talk about the pros without mentioning the cons, and really there's only 2 of them. The main and biggest one is it's harder to clean a hollowed print than a solid print. That's because you have to clean the inside and the outside, and to do it properly, you need to flush IPA through it multiple times. In fact, if you've ever had a print split that's hollowed, odds are that's because it wasn't cleaned well enough, not because you didn't cure the inside. In fact, I have never cured the inside of my prints ever, and I have many prints that are over 5 years old, and I've never had one crack. But I do make sure I clean the inside well enough. In this video, I'm gonna show you a trick to make that a little bit easier. And the second one is, of course, you have to do a little bit more work in the slicer in the preparation phase to do proper hollowing. But that's the point of this video, is to show you how to do that. To make this easier to understand, I've created 6 rules to follow when you're doing hollowing for resin 3D printing. And I'm gonna use Isaac Clarke here from Dead Space as kind of my example of some decisions I made when I supported and hollowed this figure in Lychee Slicer. Hopefully by the end of it, it all makes sense. Rule number 1 is making sure you can properly identify what objects are worth or not worth hollowing. To do this, what I do is I just hollow everything. And then I click on interior, exterior right here, and I just kind of look at stuff. And this gun right here is one where there is a lot going on with the geometry. It's rather thin, it's rather complex, where ultimately, and this would be an example of one I wouldn't hollow. So on the gun right here, I just select and I would delete the hollowing and then just kind of move on to the other objects. Rule number 2, make sure we place hollowing holes on the top and the bottom. I don't mean by the top and bottom of the model, I mean top and bottom of the individual component that we're hollowing as it is orientated in the slicer. So when looking at the helmet, what we can see is that, that helmet, the top of it, is very, very visible. You can see here when I'm looking at it, it's very, very visible. So I don't want to put hollowing holes on top of it because that would cosmetically cause too much damage. But I want them as high as I can because it's going to make cleaning this part really, really easy versus really, really difficult. And remember, if we don't clean it properly, it can explode in off gas. So what I did here is I snuck one hollowing hole right behind the visor where you can't see it. It's also going to be really easy to repair and fix. In fact, I did a video on the frozen UV clay. You can watch that video here where you're done with this one if you want. And that really made it very simple to clean up some of these smaller holes cosmetically. Rule number 3, make sure when we're placing our hollowing holes on the bottom, they're either large enough or there's enough of them to prevent suction cups. These ones at the bottom are really, really important. This is because we need resin to flow in and out of this model during the print. If we don't do this properly, we're gonna get suction cups. We do not want suction cups as that pretty much creates peeling force. And remember, kind of one of the main reasons that we're hollowing outside of saving money is to reduce peeling forces. And if we don't get rid of the suction cups, well, we're bringing them back. So make sure at the bottom, we've got, not only do we have enough holes, but they're large enough. If you have certain parts of the model where you can't put a big hole, you can do lots of smaller ones to kind of make up for it. Here's an example here where I am using different sized holes in different places in order to kind of make up for where I can't put a big one or a small one. To see what that looks like from the inside, let's just change that around. We can turn, and you can kind of see maybe like why I made some of the decisions I did when I placed hollowing holes on the bottom of this helmet. I see too many times where they'll place like maybe one on the key here, or maybe just one down in a spot like that one and call it good, but just a small hole like that one is not enough. You're gonna need multiples, and just hide them the best you can to prevent suction cups. Rule number 4 is that you don't have so many hollowing holes or holes that are so big that you pretty much created Swiss cheese and there isn't much model left to actually support itself. I've seen this way too often where, for an example, let's say these back holes right here. They're just really, really large, like something like this one, or something like the key. It pretty much takes up the entire key so it has no structural integrity left. Or on the bottom of a base, there'll be like this massive hole that takes up 50% of the bottom of the base. You need enough material to actually build the entire model off of and to put internal structures and supports on. So don't overdo it just because you're getting afraid of what I said earlier about not enough resin flow. Find that balance between enough holes for resin flow, but not so much that you've created a Swiss cheese model. And rule number 5, make sure to support those internal islands, but don't overdo it, deleting the entire purpose of hollowing in the first place. Way too often do I see stuff like this. You'd be surprised how often I see that. I mean, from the front, it looks pretty bad. From the top, you can see it's not as bad as it seemed, but you'd be surprised how often I see interior supporting that looks something like this, to a point where it's like, why did you even hollow the model in the first place? So we don't want to see this. What we want to see is supports, but where it makes sense. For that one, what I do is I use the interior pillar, which is basically a support where the top and the bottom are the exact same thickness, so 1 millimeter all the way through. And that just looks something like this one. You can kind of see it doesn't taper down. This offers a lot more support structure, so you don't need as many. And I just go through, and what I like to do is just manually add them to the islands, or something like a very large key like this guy. Just go through and add, around the edges and a few in the inside. And that's gonna prevent that key from flattening out so that there's some structure for this chest to go in the key for the pants, so everything fits and it's all very, very stable. You can also use the new Lychee Pixel 3D hollowing, where it pretty much adds support structure shafts for you, making that even easier. And let's just do one more quick example of what these first 5 rules look like. Let's use the hand. Now the hand's rather interesting, where I couldn't put any hollowing holes on the fingers, but if you look up here, they are hollowed out. I could put a blocker in here and just block it out, but I want that resin savings. So what I ended up doing is just sneaking a couple hollowing holes kind of in the wrist area, where they're gonna be less visible and a little bit easier to see. And then as far as the bottom goes, I just got a couple here on the bottom, just kind of large enough and a little more spread out so there's enough material to build the arm off of for supports, but also enough where this thing doesn't fail and we're not creating any suction cups. There's also I snuck in a few other places just to kind of alleviate some pressure here and there while I'm doing the print. Again, just places where you can kind of sneak them. Don't overdo it, but there's a place where you're like, you'll never notice that there's a hollowing hole here. I don't even need to fix it. Just squeeze them in there and it's gonna make cleaning that much easier. And rule number 6, the last rule. Make sure that you use the correct wall thickness for the type of model you're printing or the part that you're printing. As an example, the chest and head and arms, those can be down to 1.8 or 1.9 millimeter wall thickness, but possibly the feet, the legs, maybe even the base, I might go up to 2 or 2.2 millimeters wall thickness just to give them a little extra strength. Following these 6 rules, I think you're really gonna enjoy the benefits of hollowing your Resin 3D prints without pretty much any of the cons. If you learned something new today, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Join us on the Lychee Slicer Discord if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching and have a good day.